Okay, so part two is a bit different from part one. We're going to start with story, and as I tell it, I want you to just imagine it in your head if you can. I'll try and describe some of the pictures also to you as I go through, and that will open up our time for this second half. So the story is called Big Book Story Number Two. I don't know if we really gave it a name, but here we go. Polly woke up one morning. So if you can imagine just a picture of a sunrise, Polly packed her things, and she's got a whole bunch of books that she's putting in her bag. Polly said bye to Ma and Pa, and she's waving to them as she goes out the door. Polly left the house. She's opening the door of the house and walking out. Polly met Peter on the pathway. So you see her meeting Peter. They're both smiling. Polly and Peter arrived at school. So you see them walking up to their school, the big building that's red brick. It's got a flag, a nice big entranceway. Polly and Peter saw a teen with a basket of beans, peas, and peppers. And we see a teen holding these beans, peas, and peppers in his basket. Polly asked the teacher about the beans, peas, and peppers. So you see her asking this question. The teacher told Polly the teen was a gardener. And in her mind, Polly is imagining what a gardener might look like. The gardener picked beans, peas, and peppers and fed the piglets. And we see the piglets getting fed with beans, peas, and peppers. And that's the end of the story. So, as you can see, there's quite a lot of vocab that we talked about in Noah's lesson, and it's all come together in this big story. So we're going to move on just a bit, and I'm going to tell another story. This story is found in Luke 8:4-15, and it's a story that Jesus told. And it starts. When a large crowd from several towns had gathered around Jesus, he told them this story. A farmer went out to scatter seed in a field. While the farmer was doing it, some of the seeds fell along the road and were stepped on or eaten by birds. Other seeds fell on rocky ground and started growing, but the plants did not have enough water and soon dried up. Some other seeds fell where thorn bushes grew and choked the plants. The rest of the seeds fell on good ground, where they grew and produced 100 times as many seeds. And Jesus said, if you have ears, pay attention. So, maybe some of you have heard this story before, maybe not, but I don't know if, could you tell me what kind of nature items did you hear about in this story? Probably some that were different from what we talked about before. Just name them.
Thorns, soil, birds, rocks.
The sun. Mhm. Did you say rain? I can't remember.
No, I did not say rain, but yeah, that's another part in how seeds are growing, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was seed supposed to be an obvious one?
Yep, that's also one of them too. And I guess not part of nature, but we talked about the teen was a gardener. In this story, we have a farmer. So there's another kind of similarity to that. Yeah.
and that they were feeding or providing.
Mhm.
That's the first story.
Aren't we comparing them?
Yeah, we can compare them too for sure. If you see any similarities between the two stories.
So right now we're not supposed to compare them, right? We're supposed
No,
to be
you
just talking
can.
about.
You can. I think we covered most of the nature elements in the story, so we can move on to comparing the two stories also.
We didn't name all the things like peas and
Beans.
peppers and what was the other one?
Peas, beans, and peppers. Yeah.
And the piglet.
And pigs.
And the
Yeah.
piglets. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Instead of the birds eating, the piglets are eating also. So, moving on, Jesus ends up explaining what this story means to his followers because they were kind of confused as to what the point of it was, what it actually meant. And he says this: the seed is God's message, and the seeds that fell along the road are the people who hear the message. But the devil comes and snatches the message out of their hearts, so that they will not believe and be saved. The seeds that fell on rocky ground are the people who gladly hear the message and accept it. But they don't have deep roots, and they believe only for a little while. As soon as life gets hard, they give up. The seeds that fell among the thorn bushes are also people who hear the message, but they are so eager for riches and pleasures that they never produce anything. Those seeds that fell on good ground are the people who listen to the message and keep it in good and honest hearts. They last and produce a harvest, just like seeds that fall on good soil. So that's the second story. And if you have paper nearby and something to write with, or you can use the chat, either way, I would like you to write about either your most recent experience out in nature or something that's just very memorable about nature and how you've experienced it. Just write a quick little story. It doesn't have to be in too much detail, but just something about it, and we'll all share at the end. And Noah, you and I can do this also. Why not?
How long do we have?
You have time. You have tons of time.
Depends when I get inspiration. I have zero.
It's okay.
Keep that happen. How long should it be about?
Not more than like 6 lines or something.
Okay.
Not too much, because we're all gonna share. I'll give everyone about 2 more minutes.
I'm almost double the length now.
Maybe we should stop soon then. All right.
Can I go
Is
first?
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Because my writing is so bad, I'm afraid I'm gonna not
Remember
remember
what-
what I wrote.
That's all right. Go ahead. Yeah.
Um, step out into nature transforms my mind. The sun basking down on my face. The fresh air filling my lungs in the natural providence of God. Stress melts away as I hear finch, blue jays, and even the geese honking. The brook, flowing water, washing all my cares and something away. I look up and all around, how big and how great, how mighty the one who created all of this. I am at peace as I see his power displayed.
Thank you. Very poetic. Who would like to go next? I can. I guess I'll open it up after. Mine is pretty short, but my favorite experience out in nature was going through a forest with a friend of mine. We went down a small creek, or down to a small creek, and there we skipped stones together for a couple of hours, and we tried to see who could throw it the furthest. We took pictures on top of rocks and of ducks and all sorts of trees, and it was just a really great time.
I can go next.
Sure.
So last time I went walking down to the river. The river was very high, higher than usual, and a lot of the ground was flooded in the lower areas. But when you went to a certain area, the whole path was completely covered in these massive slabs of ice. You couldn't go any further at a certain point. But somehow, even though there were ice blocks past them, these saplings were still there, even though presumably they were right in the way. So I don't know what happened there, but it's very cool.
Nice.
Go next.
Sure.
This week, the icy, muddy roads and salty sidewalks suddenly saw snow again. Like a snow globe, the sky started coloring outside the lines again, and the world was white on evergreen. It was Christmas all over again.
Very nice. Yeah. I love how vividly it seems. That's really nice.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm the only one left. So I didn't really do a very picturesque description, but I
That's
just
all right.
wrote it.
It doesn't matter.
If I had time, I could do that. But anyway, here's what I got. We went out for a walk today, and no, I can't read my writing. I don't have my glasses.
The fluff.
Yeah, that word I can see. The fluffy flakes fell in a swirling fashion in the. Oh, okay. The wind was lighter than yesterday, but still chilly. But with outdoor clothing, it was refreshing. we circled upon, oh, up and. why did I
No,
write that?
upon and down
I
the,
meant to say up and down the hills on the pathway and the road, and returned home rejuvenated and smelling like fresh air when we went back inside.
Nice.
Nice.
I like how everyone is using kind of what has been incorporated from the big book story with the similar sounding sounds. I forget the word for that, but it makes it a story really come to life. It's very fun. Yeah, I think that's about all that we have had planned for today. We thank you all for coming out and participating. And yeah, Noah, if there's anything you'd like to say.
Nothing else, just thank you. Thank you very much.
it was so nice to meet you, Noah, and your mom.
Yeah.
I wish we
Me
had the
too.
volume before so we could have, talked more properly, but
And maybe we can talk a bit more and you can just chop it off if you want.
That's true, yeah.